Michelle! How are you guys doing today? Thank you for coming and joining me so that we can watch Discovery Land together. I'm so excited. I'm kind of waiting for a friend of mine to get here, and I have no idea where he is, but oh well. In the meantime, I got some really exciting stuff to talk to you about. We have some resources that you can find. You'll be able to find recipes, activities, and fun games that you and your family can do together. What was that? Oh, that's right. It's Remember and Celebrate.
Hi there, it's so crazy that our time on Ohana Island has come to an end. Summer's almost over, which means school's about to start. Whenever I start school, I have to write a paper and reflect on all the adventures I went on over the summer. So don't worry, I'm going to be writing about Ohana Island. I'll write about you, Kiki, Tutu Leilani, and I want to write about some of the stories we learned too. But I think I'll need to look in my adventure Bible to be able to remember them exactly. Cowabunga! Ohana! We're back in Ohana Island! Lola! I didn't know you were going to be here today! I didn't either. I was just writing a paper for school and I wanted to remember all of the stories we've learned. That's awesome! We're getting ready for school here on the island too. When school starts, the island closes down, and I go and teach at another island, and kids go to school at some other different islands, and people have all different kinds of jobs. Things kind of change around here, so it is nice to go back and remember all the fun things we did during the summer. So I'm packing everything away in this box. Do you mind if I help you pack? Sure. Look, it's the leis and towels. These leis remind me of the ones Tutu Leilani would make. That's right. Ohana, do you remember what we would do with the leis? We would put them on and say, Aloha. Do you see the leis on your screen? Pick out which one is your favorite. Now let's grab it, put it on, and say Aloha. Aloha. Let's put these towels in here too. You know, this kind of reminds me of our Ohana Adventure song. Let's all stand and sing our Ohana Adventure song.
Everybody, let's have some fun. Dance together under the sun. Oh, oh, Ohana. Oh, oh, Ohana. Do the hula and stomp your feet. Jump on in and feel the beat. Let's hang ten, surf's up, let's do it again. Oh, oh, Ohana.
job worshiping, Ohana. Look who climbed in the box. It's Louie. Hi, Louie. Look who else is in here. It's Hamilton. But he's sleeping. Oh, man. Ohana, can you help us wake up Hamilton? If we sing our Where is Hamilton song and clap our hands at the end, I bet we can get him to wake up. Let's try it. Where is Hamilton? Where is Hamilton? Over here, over there. Let's wake him up now. Let's wake him up now. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Is he awake? He's still sleeping. What should we try this time? Maybe we should stomp our feet. Great idea! Where is Hamilton? Where is Hamilton? Over here, over there. Let's wake him up now. Let's wake him up now. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Oh man, he's still sleeping. This time, we should clap our hands and stomp our feet at the same time. Where is Hamilton? Where is Hamilton? Over here, over there. Let's wake him up now. Let's wake him up now. Stomp and clap. Stomp and clap. Look, he's awake. Ohana, let's say aloha to Hamilton. Aloha, Hamilton. Hamilton, we're so happy that you're here today. We're going to remember some things that we learned this summer. And you know what? I think it would be really fun if we celebrated too. You know how I love to celebrate? I love to celebrate by singing a worship song. So let's all stand up and worship.
What's up, everybody? This is the happy dance. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna move around, shake and shout. Come on, let's go. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. All right, now get your feet ready. We about to jump up and down. Let's do it. Jump up and down. Jump, jump, jump up and down. Jump, jump. Now take one step forward, forward. And take one step back, back. Gonna spin now, spin around, spin around. Jump up and jump down. Come on, let's go. Spin around. Come on, spin around. Jump up and jump down. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. Now, clap it out, clap it out, clap it out. Clap, clap all around, everybody. Clap it out, come on, clap it out, clap it out. Clap, clap all around. Jump, jump, jump up and down. Jump, jump, now jump up and down. Jump, jump, now take one step forward, forward. And take one step back, back. Now spin around, spin around. Come on, jump up and jump down. Come on, let's go. Spin around, come on, spin around. Jump up and jump down. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. Everybody, if you're ready, let me see you put your hands up and wave them side to side. Now clap it out, clap it out, clap it out. Clap, clap all around, everybody. Clap it out, come on, clap it out, clap it out. Clap, clap all around. Good job, everybody. Way to do the happy dance.
I love God and everybody else, 'cause I know that He first loved me. I love God and everybody else, 'cause that's how He created me.
the words he said on the day when we found the empty box. Yeah! This empty box! Jesus is alive! And we also learned a verse that day. It was in the box and it said, I want to know Christ, yes, to know the power of his resurrection. Philippians 3:10a. That day we went through the rainforest and Victor's village, and we took a really awesome selfie, didn't we? Yeah, but my favorite part is when we learned that Jesus died on the cross for us and made a place for us in heaven to be a part of the big God story. That's right, Lola. Everyone, stand up. It's quiz time. We learned that Jesus died on the cross and rose 3 days later so that we could do what? If you think it's shine bright like the stars above, reach way up high. If you think it's run and play, run in your spot. If you think it's be a part of the big God story, give yourself a big hug. And if you think Jesus died on the cross so that we could take naps all day, pretend to be sleeping. Oh, Hannah, which one do you think it is? Great job, kids. You can sit back down. Look here. These are from the day we went down Oceanside Drive and it was flooded. We had to swim all the way to Tutu Leilani's. That's right. And we also found this. Remember, this toy frog ran with batteries. And Tutu Leilani put batteries in it. And it reminded us that God's Spirit is powerful. It sure did. And Tutu Leilani told us all about this crippled beggar who would sit outside the temple and beg for money because he couldn't work. That's right. Peter put his hands on the crippled beggar and prayed for him, and he was healed. God's Holy Spirit healed the crippled man. It sure did. Oh, Hannah, let's stand up for another quiz. We learned about the crippled beggar and how Peter healed him through God's Spirit. God's Spirit is... If you think God's Spirit is tired, stretch really big. If you think God's Spirit is powerful, show me your muscles. If you think it's giggly, laugh. And if you think God's Spirit is wiggly, wiggle. Oh, Hannah, which one do you think it is? Great job, kids. You can sit back down. God's Spirit is so powerful that it helped Peter heal the crippled man. And God's Spirit can help you too. Like if you're scared to go to school, you can just pray to God and He will help guide you through. His Spirit is so powerful. Looks like this trunk is getting pretty full. Do you think we can fit anything else in there? Yeah, there's still room. Look, that heart still needs to go in there. And our selfie from the day. Wow. That was so fun. You say that about all of our adventures. But I can't blame you. They're all pretty fun.
God is love, God is love.
I hear Palty. I think Palty must be somewhere close, and he must be listening to what we're talking about, because the day we found this heart and the day we took this selfie was the day that we learned all about God's love and a man named Paul. You mean a man named Saul? Oh yeah, a man named Saul who loved God so much that he changed his name and his life.
This is Saul. Saul was a Pharisee who hated the followers of Jesus so much that he would hunt them down to be brought to trial in Jerusalem, and he would even seek to murder them. Saul was uttering threats with every breath, and he was eager to kill the Lord's followers. So he went to the high priest. He asked him to write a letter to the Jews in Damascus that would allow him to arrest any Christians he found there. He wanted to bring them, both men and women, back to Jerusalem in chains. Now Saul went on his way, and as he came near Damascus, a light from heaven flashed around him, and he heard a voice that said, "Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul cried out, "Who are you, Lord?" And the voice said, "I am Jesus. Rise and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." So Saul got up, and he opened his eyes, but he couldn't see anything. So the men who were with Saul led him into the city. After 3 days, a man named Ananias came to Saul. He put his hands on Saul, and immediately Saul could see again. With that, Saul became a follower of Jesus. He became the very thing that he had tried to hunt. And he immediately began telling people that Jesus is the Son of God. And he taught them about the mercy of God that he had received, and all who heard him were amazed. He then went by a new name, Paul, as he began preaching not just to the Jewish people, but to everyone, despite many difficulties like being imprisoned, shipwrecked, narrowly escaping death multiple times. Paul continued to preach about Jesus. Paul said that he would do everything he could to save people and help them know God. And that's just what he did in order to reach people who would otherwise be unreached. And many came to know Jesus because of what Paul said. Paul taught many in his day through his letters, but even more have come to learn more about Jesus through the letters of Paul that can be read even to this day.
That's such a great story. Oh, Hannah, stand up. It's quiz time. Oh, Hannah, when Saul was walking on the path, what happened to him? If you think he was blinded by a bright light, cover up your eyes. If you think he tripped and fell on his back, balance on one foot. Whoa! If you think he did his best dance move, show me your best dance move. And if you think he forgot where he was supposed to go and called his mom, get your pretend phone and call your mom. Oh, Hannah, which one do you think is right? Great job, oh, Hannah. You can sit down. When Saul was walking, a bright light came down and blinded him. God sent a man named Ananias to heal Saul. Saul's life changed, and his heart changed. He loved Jesus. And because his life changed, he changed his name too. Paul was a new man. That is such a cool story. Kiki, look, it's the church we found on the day we went to Lunas Lagoon and the drive-in theater. Yeah, Tutu Leilani says this looks like the church she went to when she was a little girl, but it doesn't look like my church. Actually, since we've been doing church on the computer or on the TV, it doesn't really look like my church at all. But it's been cool doing church that way because I get to watch and worship whenever I want to. Most of the time, I watch on Saturday nights when I'm done working for the week. It doesn't look like my church either. My church used to be an old warehouse. They redid the inside, and so now it has a huge stage and live worship, and our pastor speaks to a huge crowd of people. That's so cool. We learned about the church and how the building isn't the most important part. It's the people, and that God's love is there. Oh, Hannah, it's time for another quiz. Oh, Hannah, who is the church? If you think it's you, point to yourself. If you think it's me, point to me. If you think it's Tutu Leilani, pretend to put on a leg. And if you think it's everybody, you, me, Tutu Leilani, and all of our Ohana make a big circle. Ohana, which Which one do you think is correct? Great job, Ohana. You can sit back down.
God is love. God is love.
God is love. You should put all those pictures we just found back in there. Look at that one. I remember that. That's when we learned that God responds. We heard the story about when Peter went to prison.
You remember Peter, right? We've talked about him before. Peter was one of Jesus' disciples. He told everyone about Jesus. There was a king named Herod who tried to stop anyone who tried to tell others about Jesus.
No.
He arrested Peter and took him to jail to be executed. While Peter was in prison, the people of the church prayed for him. The night before Peter was supposed to go to trial, he was sleeping. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord stood before him. The angel woke Peter up and said, "Quick, get up." The chains fell off Peter's wrists, and the angel told him to get up and get ready to go and to follow him. So Peter left the cell. But all the time, he thought what was happening wasn't real, that it was just a vision. They passed by the guards, and when they came to the iron gate, it opened for them, all on its own. They were walking through the street when the angel suddenly left. Peter finally realized that this was all really happening, and that God had sent an angel to save him from what King Herod and the Jewish leaders had planned to do to him. He went to the home of Mary, where many believers were together to pray. When Peter knocked at the door, a servant girl came to answer. When she realized it was Peter, she was so excited that she ran inside to tell people, instead of letting Peter in. The people inside thought the girl was wrong, and that it must be Peter's angel. But Peter kept knocking. When the people finally opened the door, they were amazed. Peter told them about what happened and all about how God sent an angel to rescue him from prison.
That's a great story. Peter went to prison, but he didn't stay there long. I love that. It's time for another quiz. Ohana, what did Peter and his friends do so Peter could get out of prison? If you think Peter snuck out, tiptoe. If you think Peter used a key, grab a key and unlock the door. If you think Peter prayed, show me your praying hands. And if you think Peter pried the bars apart, use your big, strong muscles to open it up. Ohana, which one do you think it is? Great job, Ohana. You can sit down. Peter prayed, and his friends prayed, and we found these praying hands in the road. When everybody prayed, God sent an angel, and the chains fell off of Peter's hands, and the gates to the jail swung open. He was free. When Peter and his friends prayed, God answered their prayers, and they were set free. God responds. Well, it looks like we're almost done. There's a few more things. There's this selfie and this gold brick with this Bible verse. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. 1 John 3:1a. That was just last week. We learned all about the place God has prepared for us. Heaven is going to be so beautiful. Ohana, it's time for another quiz. Jesus is preparing a place for us so we can do what? If you think the place is for us to swim, pretend to swim. If you think Jesus is preparing a place for us to play basketball, dribble a basketball. If you think the place is for us to eat cake, pretend to eat a big slice of cake. And if you think Jesus is preparing a place so we can be with him forever, give yourself a big hug. Oh, Hannah, which one do you think it is? Great job, Ohana. You can sit down. Jesus is preparing a wonderful and beautiful place for us to spend forever and ever with him. I'm going to miss you, Lola. I'm going to miss all of my Ohana. I'm going to miss our adventures and the stories that Tutu Leilani would tell us. Oh, and those yummy snow cones from Anu. I think I'm going to miss all of you so much more. Oh, that's impossible, Lola. It's been such a great summer learning about God's love and all of our big God stories. Don't forget to join Discoveryland next week. Make sure to bring your paper and crayons for wonder art and your thinking caps for some mystery mail. Thanks for joining us this summer. Aloha!